Okay. Let me know once you guys able to see my screen. Is my
It's
screen
visible.
visible? Yeah,
Yeah, it's
fine.
visible.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's visible.
yeah, cool. So we will be discussing about the performance testing using LoadRunner tool for the upcoming sessions. So the main agenda of our demo session today is here we are gonna to discuss about what is performance testing and the performance testing life cycle, and mainly the one of the important tool which is LoadRunner, that's architecture and course content, followed by Q&A session. Okay, so first, whatever may be the work, while we are learning something, we need to question ourselves with these 4 questions: what, why, when, and how. So whenever we are discussing about performance testing, in a simple 4 steps, we will come to one clear picture on what is performance testing here. Okay, so I'm going to write it here: performance testing. Okay, so what do you mean by performance testing? Anyone have idea on this? What exactly mean performance testing? Anyone from the team? Fine, no worries. So the name itself says it is going to test the performance of any application whenever we are using with peak load. So it can be defined as testing the application with peak load. Some might be knowing the
Ma'am,
terminology
can you
called
increase the
load.
font size?
Yeah, sure, sure. Is this fine?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, fine, cool. So suppose let us take the live application which is a railway IRCTC. So if we are doing performance testing, in the sense, the main objective is to check the application with peak load. Load in the sense nothing but users. So we are all users. So whenever someone from our team, so let's take like we are around 20 people who are using the IRCTC. So by using this application, we are going to check the application behavior, how it is responding, what is like how fast the application is responding, how stable it is. So all these can be considered under performance testing. So we can simply say testing the application behavior whenever we are hitting the application with max or peak load. Okay. And someone used to ask like why we need performance testing? Can't we able to handle our application without performance? Of course, we can go ahead without performance, but the main issue what we are going to see in the future is defects. Okay, suppose as usual IRCTC we are using the application, and whenever the 20 logins generated, it is not going to respond for the next upcoming users, which is nothing but defect. Okay, all these needs to be considered, and these metrics can be considered under performance testing. So in order to see the defect free in production, so in order to see the defect free in production, we definitely need performance testing. So with this word you can came to one conclusion that no application without performance testing can be moved to production in the sense nothing but whenever like we are just going and using our mobiles, and we'll just click on play store, and whenever we are able to download any application, in the sense that seems the application is in production is nothing but the applications what are all used by the customers. one can able to open the Play Store and able to download the IRCTC, right? That is nothing but the application is in production. Okay, clear on this? What and why? I think.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, fine. So the next point is when we need performance testing. Suppose everything we entered into one of the project. Let's take IRCTC. So we were in a very confusion state whenever we are starting our application, when our work will get started and when we need to start that and this and all these things. So for the basic understanding for the users or the performance testers, we can say like whenever the application development completes, or whenever the application development is in progress, we can able to start our performance testing. So without the like if I want to do something here, irctc.com. Okay, okay, this is our client. So if I want to do a performance testing for this application, definitely we need this UI, right? So without this URL and without seeing all these functionality here, no one can able to do any testing. So this needs to be completed with its development phase. A developer can able to develop the application. So once the development completes and manual phase completes, manual testing in the sense I hope few of you people were aware of it. So if not, that is also fine. One sec, sorry. Yeah, I'm seeing the stock market here. So if I click on stock market, I'm when I'm hover my mouse over here, I'm seeing those two options here. About us is going to give something related to, I mean, board of directors and the history about IRCTC, something like that. If I want to log in, so somewhere we will be seeing the login, IRCTC login. If I want to book ticket, I need to check first. I need to log into this functionality, and then I need to check from either from Secunderabad, who will go with any place like Vishakhapatnam. So whenever we are checking each and every functionality is working or not. If I'm giving Secunderabad, it is taking Secunderabad or not. If I'm giving Vizag here, Visakhapatnam here, it is taking or not. If I'm changing the date, whether the this functionality is changing or not. If I need to go and book AC ticket or any some sort of one tier, two tier, three tier. So all these functionality is working or not, that comes under the functionality testing phase. They are going to check each and every functionality in the application is working or not. So one can able to do performance testing whenever the complete application is developed on the manual phase, which is nothing but the functional phase of the application is completed. Then we can able to do performance testing. But as now we were in completely into agile methodology, like we will be getting like frequent deployments, frequent changes, and even without completion of this development, whenever there is only the login functionality developed, we can able to start work for that. Whenever register functionality is completed in its development phase, we can able to start working on that. We no need to wait till the entire application is completely developed. Whenever there is split wise functionality wise development is done, we can go ahead and start the performance testing. Okay, but the opening criteria, I mean the entry criteria in order to do the performance testing is application development should be completed and also manual phase should be done, and the main thing is application should be stable. Okay, so whenever we are checking for the Secunderabad, whenever it is giving sort of Tirupati, which is not at all acceptable. So it means there is some defects with this application. So in that case, we can't go ahead and do the function, performance testing. Okay, whenever I'm trying to change the class, it is only giving all classes. That's it. There is no one tier. Even if it is there, it is not opting. We are unable to opt one tier, two tier, three tier, and all these things. So then also we can directly say to our client, the application itself is not stable. So we are not willing to go ahead with performance testing. That should be our main criteria. Okay. And now we know what is performance and why we need performance. Why we need means in order to see the defect free in production. Okay. When we need. So application should complete its development phase, and also the application should be stable and it should be completed with its functional phase, which is manual. Okay, fine. How we are going to achieve the performance testing? That's the main thing. Okay. So here we will be having few tools. Okay. So the mostly and widely used tool is LoadRunner, and the next is Jmeter, NeoLoad, A6, something like that. We are having n number of tools to do performance testing. But the most commonly used, whenever you heard about the performance testing, the most commonly used tool will be LoadRunner will comes into the first place. And this is purely licensed one. Okay. So here when like we can also able to download it, but it will be applicable only for the 50 users with trial version. Whenever like if we want to go and check IRCTC with like around 100 users, we can't go ahead. It can support only 50 users. If you're crossing beyond the 50th user, whenever you're like planning to play with 51st user, then it will ask you for license. Okay, we need to buy license for that. And Jmeter is completely open source one. The word open source itself says one can easily download. So I can easily go to my Chrome and will simply write like Jmeter download. So I can directly download from the Chrome here itself. And here I can able to go ahead with n number of users. It's not only limited with 50 users. So we can able to run with approx 400 users. Okay. You can also go beyond the line, but there some configurations needs to be set up, which is called master slave configuration. That configuration need to set up in your machine. Okay. And we also have the another tool which is Neoload, that is also a licensed one, and K6 is also licensed, and Epica is also licensed one. So here we are having n number of tools. And why only LoadRunner? Because it is as it is from the ages, so most of the performance testing projects will rely on LoadRunner. If you take any banking project, it might be Wells Fargo, Westpac, Bank of America, like most of the banking projects will completely rely on LoadRunner, because as it is a licensed one, the report which we are getting from the LoadRunner will be of very efficient mode. So whenever we are having any issues in our tool itself, we can directly contact to our LoadRunner support team in order to solve any sort of issues. Okay, so these are the different types of tools we are having. So all clear with what is performance and why we need, when we are going to handle the performance, and how we are going to achieve it? Everyone clear about these four questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Cool.
Hello.
Okay. Yes.
Hello, ma'am. So could you
Yes,
please
yes.
explain what is a spike?
Okay. I mean, you're talking about the spike testing, right?
Yeah, volume spike and
Okay,
what is a
fine,
scalability? Yeah,
fine. The word itself says spike. Spike in the sense, you consider the term as sudden increase? Yes, right? The spike in the
yes,
sense
yes,
whenever you are using the load, let us take, you are testing the application with 100 users, but you want to check your application whether if the number of users are getting increased, the concurrency rate is getting increased, how your server is going to respond. Then we can consider that as spike test. So I'll draw it for you. You are able to see my screen, right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, 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 fine. So let us consider this is time. Okay, I'm just let us consider this is one application and we are running over there and we are using this application. So number of users are getting increased and I just asked to test for 100 users. Okay, consider this as, the term will be called as ramp up. Okay, so it is nothing but all
Ramp
the
up, yeah.
users are, yeah, all the users are getting initialized into our application. Okay, I'm just asking my machine to check my application is suitable for 1 hour or not. So I'm just like designing my scenario to work for one user in a steady state with those 100 users. But my requirement is to check whether the server is good to handle the spike test. So what I'm doing is, after like around 45 minutes of duration, I am directly asking my system to increase 50 more users. So how comes 100 plus 50? So now in from the 46th second, okay, it is gonna to handle with 150 users. The sudden spike in the application is gonna to check how the server is responding. So the spike testing can be like defined as to check the application whenever there is some sort of abnormalities. There, if there is any abnormal, because this is nothing but abnormal only, right? So 100 users is normal, we are just pushing our machines to go to the spike and asking our system like whether everything is safe in that particular situation or not. So this is nothing but spike. Clear?
Yeah,
Okay, okay, by considering these four questions I believe you can understand exactly what is performance testing. Fine. Now we are moving to the second one, life cycle. Okay, so okay, we all learned performance testing and we just entered into any of the organization, and our project manager just like called us and asked a few of the questions, what is so and so, we answered everything. Okay, that's fine. And he said like okay, from today you are gonna to start your performance testing project. Okay, then our very first step what we need to do is to get the non-functional requirements. Whatever the project, on which project we are getting, we need to get this document. Okay, as we are considering a railways application, so we'll take that as reference and we'll discuss something on non-functional requirements. Okay, I'll just tell you in another few minutes. Once we are done with requirements, okay, so then what we are going to do is like, first we need to set up a call with our IRCTC stakeholder and we'll discuss. We are having so and so questions regarding to that so and so blah blah blah. We'll be asking about the questionnaire documents. Whatever the discussion happened so far in our very first call, that is going to be documented as test plan. Okay, So whatever the discussion and what are all the terms and what are all the conditions we like discussed in the very first step, that is documented here, and we will take like a sign off for this test plan. So why we need? We already discussed with our client, the railway minister, and I mean the one who is working for the IRCTC stakeholder. We already discussed. Why can't we directly go and do the performance in the sense? Suppose in my first discussion, my client is saying like, okay, fine, let's take. I think Vikram is here. Like, okay, hi Vikram. So let's plan with 1,000 users for IRCTC. So this is what I conveyed to him. I'm the client, and Vikram is the one who is working as a performance tester or someone, and you all into the performance team. I just asked you to do performance. So what you guys will do? So you guys will directly move to this application, and you start using the load runner and doing all the scripts and doing that and this. Okay, and also you prepared, I mean you did some executions, and you prepared documents and come to me and saying like, Amulya, we are done with our like performance testing, here is our report. That time, like there might be some time gap happen. So in my mind what I'm thinking is like, I'm not willing to go ahead with 1,000 users. So now I am gonna to increase my hardware resources and all the things, and now I am planning to go ahead with 5,000 users. Then whatever the
Hi, ma'am.
efforts
Can I
we
ask
have
one
done.
question, please?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, sometimes what happens that in our environment, it's working as a, when we test the load testing and it's working fine. But during the patch deployment in the production, there might be
Yeah.
some temporary file is there. Okay,
Yeah.
and there's some cache might be some irrelevant cache are there, and at that time client faced the challenges that page loading. So how can we
Yes.
overcome and we can test accordingly on that? Could you please
That's
elaborate?
really okay. That's really a very good question. So in the tool itself, whatever we are having, so here we are having the cache option as well. So there will be few runtime settings whenever we are running the script. So we need to consider the cache as well. So we won't allow the cache to impact our responses. So whenever I am trying to log in my Gmail, something like that, okay. So whenever not a login, so whenever I am surfing something like this, for the very first time, it is going to take very bit long time in order to load this. Okay. So whenever it is already
Yes.
loaded, so there will be everything will be loaded under cache. So whenever I am using this for the second time, the response time will gets reduced. Okay. So for all these issues, we are going to implement the cache as well, which should not impact our response times.
Then how can we
Okay.
define that there might be say cache size or what types of cache we have? So is there any particular options that we might be enter the cache size for the in the relative between MB and MB accordingly, like
Yes,
20 temporary
definitely.
20 MB? Yes. Yeah. So is
Definitely.
that
So,
proceed? Okay.
okay, cool.
Okay. Okay. Go
So,
ahead, please.
y- yeah, cool. So, in for the same reason, we will be having the thing called text check. Okay, text check will be there. So, the name itself says it is gonna to check whether whatever we are applying for the script that is going to work or not. By using this check verifications, this is also called as verification points. So we can use these points and will directly tell to our system, if it is crossing this much of MB, then push me some sort of pop-up, something like that. Everything that whatever we are discussing, that is going to be handled in our scripting part. We can take care of each and everything. Okay. Am I good to go now?
Yes, please.
Yeah, fine. So whatever we discussed with our client, so we'll be designing a test plan. So sorry, we dropped this at some point, right? So we discussed to go ahead with 1000, but now I'm just changing my word as per my new requirements. I'm saying like we'll go with 5000. So if I'm directly changing my word from 1000 to 5000, what are all the works and I mean the things that done from our entire team is going to waste. The resource utilization, everything is going to be zero. For the same sake, the performance test plan will play a very key role in our performance testing. If the performance testing, the test plan gets signed off in the sense, no one has ability to change their word, no matter what. If they need to go ahead with any modifications, then again the next version of test plan should be developed and that should be signed off from the client. Okay, for all these reasons we need definitely need test plan to get be signed off. Okay, once that is signed off, we'll check using the LoadRunner we can able to design the scripts. Coming to the scripting in the sense everyone will think of having the coding knowledge and all this and that everything will comes into our mind. And even the people who attended the session also like they were little bit worried whether they are going to handle this or not. But believe me, there will be like no coding knowledge required as a prerequisite. I'm having like around 9+ years of experience. Till now, I never used any code. If you want to use any code, also you can able to build it. So here in this sessions, we are going to cover the basic C programming as well. Performance testing won't need much coding. So whatever we have, the tools can be able to like record what are all the things we need and that needs sort of modifications which all comes under scripting that will be fine for our script creation. Okay, so script creation, I'll just give you a brief introduction on this script creation. So whenever I use my loadrunner tool, I'll just navigate to this page and then I click on login and then I just give my username and password and followed by captcha and click on sign in. So whenever I do these actions from my from my machine, that itself is gonna to generate the script. Okay, this is how it looks. You no need to worry, I'm gonna to explain you each and everything in detail. This is one webtools application which is open source. So here what I did is like in the very first step I just navigated to that page and then provided one username, and here I just provided one password and then clicked on login, and at last I clicked on sign off button. So on what area we are playing in the application, this load runner itself is going to give you a very clear picture without any confusions. It is a very simple language. Okay, so here what we'll do is like we'll do what are all the required changes. So here you are seeing only one username and one password. If I want to run the same script for 1000 users, what I'll do is like I'll just give test data of required users.
Ma'am,
I
sorry to
mean,
interrupt you. Hello.
yes, yes, yes,
Yeah, session has been recorded, ma'am.
yes, we do.
Ma'am, could you please send me that? Actually, I'm
Yeah,
leaving the
sure, sure,
session. It's
sure.
very, very wonderful session you have explained, and I'm very much interested on that. But right now I am traveling, so not able to continue, ma'am. So
Yeah,
so
fine.
sorry actually. And could you please send me
Not
that
a problem,
session,
not a problem.
please?
Sure,
Okay, ma'am.
sure, sure.
Thank you
For
for the
sure. Once
explanation.
this is
Thank you.
done,
Thank
yep.
you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, so here we will be using, if suppose let us take, if I'm working on any banking application, so it is sort of SBI, then I don't want then being as a SBI client, I don't want all the users like repetitive users. So what I'll do, I'll just go for unique users. So I will be giving 1,000 users names and 1,000 passwords to check whether my SBI application is able to handle those unique sessions as well. Okay, all these things can be considered into our scripting part. Okay, once our scripting is done, we will be moving to the execution, and then we will be discussing about our reports. So here we will be considering about n number of metrics, like whenever you are clicking on login, how much time exactly it is taking. Okay, whenever you are trying to place order, or whenever you are trying to book ticket, how much time it is taking, and whenever you are trying to cancel your ticket, how much time you are taking. So all these things will be considered. Mainly one of the main metric is response time. Response time can be defined as the time taken by the server to respond for the request. Okay, so here what I'm doing, I'm just clicking on something and giving some password, and I'm giving some captcha and clicking on sign in. It is not going to take the time for this and all these things. So after giving all these details, how much time this application is going to take when you click on sign in, whenever you click on sign in, what internally happens. So we provided some ABC as username, and 1234 is our password, and I provided the captcha. When I click on sign in, what it will do is like this, whatever we are seeing, this is nothing but application. Okay, so this application server will internally connect to database. Okay, so it is going to directly check whether ABC username is present or not. Okay, if it got the correct answer, then it is going to check 1234 is the correct password or not. So after these two things, it is going to check whatever the captcha we provided over there, it is correct or not. And then it is entry to the application. So here it is going to capture how much time it is taking. That is one of the main metric for performance testing. Okay. So in this, let's discuss about non-functional requirements. Okay. So today we'll discuss not much into this. I don't want you to go into long. I'll simply write NFR. Okay. So it will be some sort of questionnaire documents. Whatever the company you're working for, each and every organization, there will be some sort of standard documents. You no need to worry, but you need to be aware
Excuse me,
what
ma'am.
are all the things. Yes, please.
Yeah, I have one question. So,
Yeah.
you said in the script, if we have the 100 users, then we need to give username and password for the 100 users
Yes.
in the script? Okay.
It is nothing, just like it depends on the client requirement. If your client
Hmm.
is able to accept the duplications as well, then you can go ahead with 10 users for 10 repetitive times.
Hmm. Okay. Or otherwise, we will have to
it's,
create
it's
all the
just a very
users.
very it's very simple thing. I think
Okay.
my screen is already visible, right?
Hmm. Yes.
So what I am gonna to do is like, so anyhow we will be getting our test data from the client itself. So what I'll do is like, I'll just give username user1. So we will be writing, suppose let us
Hmm.
take, if you are asking about 100, right? So if it is
Hmm.
like 270, we will be like adding all these things and converting this. This is Excel, right? We will be converting and saving this as CSV, comma separated value. Okay.
Hmm.
That's it. Username. Save. So what I'll do is like I'll go to my script. Okay. Instead of this, I'll directly add my file over here.
Mm.
That comes under parameters. So here I need to add my parameterization, and I need to browse my file, and also need to tell my system how this is gonna to take. And if I'm using for the second user, is that should be sequential, or it should be unique, or you can also go ahead with random values as well, right? So
Mm.
we need to go with some sort of small changes in this page. That's it.
Okay. Okay. Thank
Okay.
you very much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am, this parameter list that you were showing, this is like
Mm.
coming from the tool.
Yeah, from the tool itself, we are having that inside the tool. So what I'll just quickly share you. You might not get complete picture, but see, replace with parameter. When I'm like double clicking on this and right click, replace with new parameter, create new parameter. I'll be giving like username. Okay. And anyhow, this is file only. I'm clicking on OK. Do you want to replace? Yes. Okay. So if I click
Okay,
on parameters over here, that is already created. See. So what I'll do is like I'll just browse username dot dat. So I'll just browse over here. Sorry, I think it's there in our desktop where I saved it.
okay,
Sorry,
that's
I don't know
completely fine.
exactly where I saved. Yeah.
No problem. So
If not, you
there
can
is no,
also directly you can click on edit with notepad. You can if you want to check only with 5 users, you can directly write like this: user 3, user 4, user 5. That's it. And you need to click on save and then close. I didn't click on save. That's the reason why it is not populating here.
okay, and there is no programming language knowledge is required for this. This is like coming from the
Nothing.
recording, the UI
Yes.
recorder that we have, and that UI recorder is also part of this tool.
Yes. Everything is included inside the tool itself.
Okay, so that UI recorder
Okay.
itself generates the script file, and there is only one file that is required, which comes from the recorder itself.
Yeah. So
Okay.
tomorrow
Yeah.
we will be discussing on this tool so that I can able to help you on how to record on that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Meanwhile, you
Please,
need to complete the other part as well. So I'm just discussing on that.
please go
Any
ahead.
more
Thank.
questions? Any questions?
Yeah, ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You mentioned the term while you were explaining some phases like non-functional requirement and test plan. You told
Yeah.
hardware changes.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Is it something hardware sizing and what you meant the same?
Specification.
And if
Okay.
that is the case, what it is and when do we is it in the test planning phase or like when exactly are we using this?
Okay. So for the better understanding, I'll just go with in terms of non-technical word here. Okay. You need to fill 2 liters of water, but you are having 1 liter water bottle. So what you are going to do after filling your 1 liter, I mean in your water bottle, then the next step is we are going to take another water bottle, which is of empty. So in the same way, hardware resource, what I am like pointing here is that relates to the RAM size and also the CPU utilizations and each and everything, memory, everything. Clear?
Okay. Okay, so what exactly you change it? So first you use half part or whatever is there with us, and then you
No.
extend that.
Yes. So here what we are going to do is like in your system, if your C folder or D folder is completely getting occupied, then your file explorer is going to turn bit red, and then your
Mm-hmm.
starting will get slow. And
Mm-hmm.
what that means, there is no space for new options or new folder creations and everything like that. Okay. Then what you'll do, we'll just increase our RAM size, which
Yes.
is, and also, I mean, the memory space as well, which is going to speed up and boost up your work.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So in
And
real life,
moving.
you do it actually on your own local machine?
Yes, here we will be having LGs. Here that is called as load generators. So if you want to run 100 users, then you might need one LG. But whenever you are planning to run for n number of users, like let's take 500 users, then definitely whatever the load one generator you are having, that might not be enough because of all these hardware constraints. Then definitely you need more LGs.
Okay.
Clear? Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, fine. So I think we are having only 15 minutes left. Okay, fine. So if needed, I can cover these two topics tomorrow. Meanwhile, I just want to complete this in high priority today. That is LoadRunner architecture. So whatever the things we discussed so far, that comes under performance. And now coming to the LoadRunner architecture, it's very, very simple. So as I said, like after creation of NFR and doing test plan, we will be doing script generation and execution and analysis. Correct? So for these three steps, step 3, 4 and 5, these two comes under just like Word document. This is nothing but documentation work. So our work mainly starts from here, 1, 2, 3. For these three things, we are having three different components. One is VUGen, virtual user generator. This is the place where we are using n number of users, and this is mainly used for scripting. If you guys able to see my screen, this is nothing but VUGen. See, virtual user generated. So by using this, we are just generating our script. Okay, and whatever the script we are doing in our first component, we are gonna to execute the same in our second component, which is nothing but controller. So here I'm just creating my script and I am doing modifications and adding those users and I am trying to run. So someone asked about the spike test. So what type of test we need to execute, that all can be designed here. There will be n number of tests: load testing, spike testing, endurance testing, benchmark testing. Okay, so all these testings can be designed here. Stress testing will also be there. Okay, what are all the things we performed so far here that can be analyzed in analysis? This is the third component. So this is the place you guys use to script, and this is the place where we will be doing execution, and this is the place where our analysis, our report. In order to generate the required amount of load, so I already said what is performance testing. In the sense, I said like testing the application behavior when we are hitting with peak load. Load is nothing but users, so those users will be generated from the load generator. Okay, this is going to provide us required amount of load. Without this load runner also, we can able to, you guys might get confused, like if we definitely need like sort of a tool like this, why can't we directly go and check the load runner if we are running with 10 users, something like that. So in that case, we will just discuss this with in a very simple way. So let us take, we are like around 20 people. Okay, so what I am doing is like, we just want to check how much time it is taking for in functionality in IRCTC application. Okay, so then what I need to do, if I am not using any load runner tool, any Jmeter tool or any performance testing tool, what I'll do, I'll just stand in front of you and I'll ask you to sit in a line, and I just need you people to arrange 20 computers in order to log in, and I'll announce, okay guys, you can type ABC1 for the first user, ABC2 for the second user, and ABC3 for the third user. Likewise, ABC20 is your username for the 20th user, and password will be the same. Okay, then I'm just asking you to people, okay guys, you can go ahead with username. Then you people are giving ABC 1, 2, 3, 4 followed by 20. And now I am asking you people, okay guys, if you are done with AB like username, then go ahead with password. And then everyone is going to type 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm just asking you people to give your captcha. Then everyone did. Then okay guys, I'm gonna to spell 1, 2 and 3. By the end of 3, you need to click on sign in button. Okay, I'm spelling 1, 2, 3. Okay, so do you really think is this going to help? Because whenever we are doing something, there will be n number of human errors. The reason why we consider like this, because Priyanka is like, whenever I am asking her to click on sign in, she might not listen, like she's clicking 2 minutes like delay, and the one Amit is like clicking on sign in 2 minutes prior to my suggestion. So there will be n and n number of human errors. To get rid of all these things, whatever we do manually to get the response time is of just like wasting our time, because no one can use like can work like a machine. We need to get the concurrency as well. So everyone, like in few of the application, they will mainly concentrate on concurrent users. Concurrent users are nothing but whenever all the users, all the required amount of users are in the same page, so they need to click on sign in the very like fraction of seconds. Everyone needs to be on very same page. So by taking all these considerations, this definitely needs some sort of automation too. Okay, this is the LoadRunner architecture. Fine. And moving to the course content, what are all the things we are
Question.
going to learn this?
Okay, I had one question on this architecture. Like the very first item says VU generator, that is virtual user generators.
Yes,
Why it is VU generator and not actual users? Like, why do like is it like we have to test only with virtual users, or is it like the real time application login users that we can use for performing the
it
load
is
test?
it is nothing but real-time users only, right? So I
Okay.
mean, whatever the data production data there, like if we are working for SBI, so is SBI going to give us some sort of real data, Amit username and password? No, right?
Mm-hmm.
Amit username and password is completely confidential. So here we are just using those real-time users in terms of virtual users by taking credentials. But whatever the confidential matter is there, that should be in production only. So we don't have anything, I mean, any ability to touch the prod data. So we will be playing only with the pre-production data, which is directly replicating the production data.
Okay. Sure. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. And here I'll just show you what are all the things we are going to learn in our things. So I just gave you a brief description on what is performance testing and why we need, how we need, and like what all we need. Okay, so after completion of this introduction, so we will be moving to the LoadRunner tool, automated tool, and we'll be discussing on how to install it and what are all the components what we discussed so far. And also in this, you guys are gonna to generate the scripts, okay? And you are gonna to play with those scripts by adding n number of necessary things, and also what are all the different types of runtime settings. Someone just asked me like how to apply I mean, when how we are going to handle the cache. If we are going to like include that cache, then definitely whatever the response time we are seeing is not at all the correct one. So we need to take care of the cache as well. So all those things will be considered in our runtime settings. And also here you guys no need to worry, so I'm gonna to like help you on C language basics as well. because in few of the interviews they will be asking about few things related I mean even in the LoadRunner, if I mean the project requires, definitely we need to write like int a, int b, something like that. So we also gonna to discuss all those things. As this is LoadRunner, it is LoadRunner LR. Okay, the short form is LR. So here we will be having some inbuilt functions. So we will be discussing those as well, and also some things related to advanced C topics. Okay, so this is correlation. So I can simply say like whenever we log in into any, someone asked about I mean we discussed about SBI. Okay, whenever you provided your username and password, definitely you'll be getting one OTP. Okay, so I can't directly go and use the same OTP for all the 1,000 users on what I need to run. So if consider this as a SBI project, definitely when you click on username and password, there will be some sort of, I mean, here you can see like session IDs. Okay, so consider this as OTP for your SBI application. If I'm using with the 10 different users, 10 different passwords, this also will be like 10 different OTPs, right? So it can't directly, we can't directly go and blindly use the same password for all the users. So in order to handle this type of session IDs, whatever that is generated from the server, okay, that is going to be taken care by correlation part. And we do have automated correlation and also manual correlation. So we are also going to discuss about that. And parameterization. So parameterization, I just simply said, so to provide different usernames and different passwords whenever we are running with the different and multiple users, that comes and that comes under parameterization. So we will be having different combinations. Here we observed, right? So different combinations in the sense how the next user is going to be, is that going to be sequential, or the next user should go random, or if it is a banking application, definitely they need some sort of unique. So all these things can be considered under parameterization. So whenever we are done with our scripting, our next component is controller. Okay, so we will be designing our script. So load testing and scalability testing and endurance testing and n number of different types of scenarios we are going to design here. Okay, and also we are going to see at the detailed analysis. We are going to check each and every metrics over there, how the response time is, and how the 90 percentile is, and how how about the response codes, everything is 200, or some giving any errors like 400 or 500 status codes, something like that. Or in our analysis, if we are doing with peak load, whether we are seeing any issues, so those also will be issues. In the sense here it is termed as bottlenecks. Okay, we are also going to cover about this. And this is LRE. So this is nothing but controller only, but this is something related to cloud. So whereas in controller, I mean the component what I showed you, there we can able to run only one script at a time. By using the LRE, we can also able to run multiple scripts. If someone wants to do 2 to 3, I mean types of testing parallelly, yes, they can able to go ahead. Okay, and also all these, and I'm also going to help you how to generate the report and how to collide all the metrics and how to write our observations, each and everything, results generation, drafting emails along with all the observations. Okay, and if you people are really interested, I can also help you people in the interview questions as well. If needed, I'm ready to take mock calls as well. And here we are also having the bonus topics like fiddler. If here I'm using the LoadRunner, correct, for recording Vugen. If the Vugen is unable to support the application on which I need to work, if railway application is unable to compatible with this, then I can't simply sit and do something else. So we are having another tool which is called fiddler. So from there we can able to generate the script and pull that request into here. And here I'm going to convert that fiddler script into Vugen script. Okay, whenever we are having I mean here we are not only dealing with performance testing, we are also dealing with performance engineering. So whenever you are facing issues in your analysis, issues in your execution, then the term moved from performance testing to performance engineering. Engineering is going to deal you about the bottlenecks, which is nothing but issues. So if you are like able to see any issues, then definitely you need some sort of monitoring tools. So here we are going to discuss any one of these, either AppDynamics or Dynatrace, because we can't install those two at a time in one machine. And we are also going to discuss about bit high topic, which is garbage collection as well. So these are all the things we are going to cover in our LoadRunner upcoming sessions. And I'm pretty sure, like, if you guys are really interested, I mean, if you give a commitment of minimum of 2 hours per day, then you guys are going to do this within 30 to 35 days. If you want to really switch from your I mean, one department to another department, one technology to another, then this is the right time for you people, because this don't need much coding and very high time and all these things. But this needs a clear understanding of what you are doing. I mean, whenever you are doing something, just not only about this I'm speaking, whenever you are doing something, just try to have all these consolidated things, then it will be very easy for you to learn. Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to start the main sessions, which I mean we will be discussing on non-functional requirements, because of time constraint. We didn't get a chance to complete this non-functional requirements. Non-functional requirements, I'll just simply tell you in 2 minutes. Okay, suppose let us take I'm working into any of the project. Okay, Anjali or Anand, I'm let us take all, we are all working into one project. So Amit is our client. So there I'm directly posting few questions to Amit. Yeah, hi Amit. Whatever the IRCTC application are we considering, is it already existing or that's a new one? So he is going to give us some details, and I am going to ask exactly from which technology it is derived. Is this Java or .NET or JavaScripting, something like that? And what are all the components you are concentrating? Are you concentrating only on ticket booking, or you are also concentrating in IRCTC? We used to see, right? So there it they are already included flight tickets, air, I mean, sorry, nothing but air tickets, and we have cabs and food delivery options. We'll be having all those things. So as we were seeing each and everything in our application, we are just getting confirmation from Amit. Amit, are we going to check each and every module, or as the time limit is we are having like around 1 month of time to get this release? So do we really need to go ahead with all these things, or mainly our concentration is into only the ticket booking? Okay, and if we have any issues in our executions, is this railway application is deployed to any monitoring tool? Do we have Dynatrace, or do we have AppDynamics, or do we have New Relic in order to check all the production logs, or do we have any SLA? Like whenever you click on like login, is that for 2 seconds or 3 seconds? Okay, whenever you click on ticket booking from to and followed by date and everything, whenever you are paying, is your payment is going to take like 2 seconds, 3 seconds? That is called SLA, service level agreement, that should be like provided from our client. Okay, how much users you are planning to run to check the railway? Is that for 1,000 or 2,000? We also need to check all these things in picture. That comes under non-functional requirements. So we will be discussing that complete detailed topic tomorrow. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Any
Ma'am, one
questions?
more question, yeah, before we
Yeah.
wind up. Ma'am, so
Yeah.
nowadays we follow Agile everywhere, right? So in
Yes.
performance testing, why are we still talking about test plan, test design, and test execution? Because I think in Agile, uh,
In what do you
we
mean
don't do all
exactly
these
by
things.
Azure? Any idea, Priyanka?
Like we get user stories, right?
Yeah. Okay.
for in
So
Agile?
that, yeah, that only not relates to earlier we used to follow some sort of waterfall methodology in our testing. Okay. So I'll tell you in detail. So waterfall, like once the requirement is captured, I
Hmm.
mean, is done, the very first phase is completed, we can't go back and change the requirements because that is limited to, there is a limitation for the waterfall. Even if you see the waterfall, water is falling from top to bottom, that can't be reversed, right?
Hmm.
Okay, the terminology is also taken from the same understanding. So the agile methodology here includes there will be continuous requirements. So whenever you need, that is going to give you a proper communication between you, performance tester, and developer and manual tester and everyone. If the developer wants to change, okay guys, I don't want to give the login functionality right now, so first I'll go with, I'm sorry, I don't want to give the registration functionality right now, so we'll just go with guest users. So I'm not going to plan to develop the sign in functionality for, I mean, for registered users, we'll just click on directly the one which we are having for the guest user. So then we'll directly go and change the things accordingly. Okay,
Yeah.
the test plan exactly why we need is, it is just like an agreement between you and client, because
Hmm.
some other day they can't come back to you and ask like, Priyanka, I asked you for 1,000 users, why you did only for the 500 users, so the result what we got from your company is of no use, which is a completely loss of billing. Correct. So
Yeah.
those two are like the basic things what we need to do while doing performance testing as a part of performance testing lifecycle.
Yeah. But don't we follow Agile there? I mean, because in manual testing we usually get we get
User
user
stories, right?
stories. Yeah, I think on the Jira board we get all
Yes.
those details. So
Yeah.
likewise in performance, how does that work? Like
Okay.
user stories and
If
all
you are,
those.
okay, fine. So whatever the user story you are creating over there, so if you use any test case, okay, so what is your test case? So launch this application and click on login and give your username, give your password and click on captcha and click on sign in. That will be your one story, correct?
Yes, yes.
So after completion of your story only, I'm gonna to do the test design, which is nothing but scripting. For the
Hmm.
same sake, I said that should be done with manual phase. If there is any defects or errors in the very first line, then definitely we are not gonna to do anything, right? So for the same reason, I suggested to go ahead with performance testing that should be done with manual phase.
Hmm.
Okay, if there is any defects, then you'll directly raise in your Jira board saying like, even with the wrong password is also application is able to log in.
Hmm.
Then what you'll do? We are not gonna to do any performance testing for the thing which is unstable. So the thing what we'll do is like whatever that is signed off from the development and whatever that is signed off from the manual testing phase, and whenever the application is stable, then we'll be good to go ahead with performance phase. Clear?
Okay. Yeah.
And also in
But
the
we don't
Jira board
follow
will
this,
also,
yeah, in like
yeah,
Jira
even
or something.
in performance also we will be having.
Okay.
We will
Okay.
be
Just
having
like
like
how it
whenever
happens
like
in
we
manual testing.
are, okay. Suppose let us take, if you're
Right?
seeing any defect there, you are gonna to raise and like
Correct.
anything, right? So what
Yeah.
here we are going to do is like if I am seeing any change in my response time, so like as I said, SLA service level agreement, if it is 2 seconds, okay,
Hmm.
if I'm getting 5 seconds, okay.
Mm.
So then
Okay.
the thing is like, 1 second, sorry. Yeah. So then I'm gonna to raise one like defect
Defect.
over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually the SLA is 2 seconds, but here it is taking 5 seconds. So here we need
Hmm.
to dig that.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so
And
much.
yeah, this is how
Yeah.
we are gonna to work. And
Okay.
any more questions, guys? I'm gonna to
Yeah,
stop the
I
One
just
more thing.
recording.
want. Hello.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I joined lately this session. Can you
Fine.
forward this session record in the group?
Sure, sure, sure. I mean, tomorrow morning, the manager is gonna to share this. I think now there will be no one to handle this. So by tomorrow
Yeah,
morning, you guys can able to take this.
yeah, yeah. Sure. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
But if you people really need help on any mock calls and something like that, I'm there to help you. I just
Yeah.
need, no matter what, either one or two student in the class, I just need my people and
Oh,
to be good at what we were digging and what we were doing in a perfect way.
yeah, yeah. Sure. Okay.
I
Okay.
just need you
Thank.
people to be confident on what you are doing and what you are learning. Okay. Any
Okay,
more
ma'am.
questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Actually,
Yeah.
Hi,
Yes, go
Vinod
ahead.
here.
Yeah,
As part
Vinod.
of this course, we like a performance testing and a cloud, like a Docker or a Kubernetes, like that.
For Docker and Kubernetes, Vinod, we are having separate sessions for that because we were limited to like around 30 plus 30 to 35 hours. So we do have separate coaching for that, training for that, Docker and
Okay,
Kubernetes.
okay, yeah,
Yep.
thank you. That's with a LoadRunner or a Jmeter, separate course.
Uh, I'm not sure on exactly because we can able to do with any tool that is some sort of integrations on what we used to do. Exactly, I'm not sure. Like now, the training is going on which tool.
Okay, okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, guys, any more
uh,
questions?
so I
Feel
have
free
a
to ask.
question.
Mm.
So you said in the bonus section we have some concepts of performance
Yes,
engineering and monitoring AppDynamics,
yes,
Dynatrace.
mhm,
So as a
yes.
performance tester, how much performance engineering is needed and is it like too technical? What exactly in how much depth we should know
Okay,
and how,
it
is it like
depends.
very technical?
No, not technical, not much into technical. See, if you are like working as a performance tester, so in few of the companies there will be separate for engineering. So there will be only dedicated people for engineering areas like Dynatrace. So we will be getting calls for a Dynatrace admin and AppDynamics admin. So here what we are gonna to do is like exactly whenever you are facing any issue with the performance testing scenarios, how we are gonna to deal, how we are gonna to dig your issues, and how we are gonna to post those issues to your client. Like this is what we did, and these are all observations we did by using so and so monitoring tools.
No, because
Okay,
in one of
so
the
it's nothing.
yes, yes.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
So
I'll
in one of the
continue.
job descriptions of a performance tester I saw, it needs performance tester plus like
Engineer.
performance engineering skills and someone who can dig deep into the code and do the analysis.
Okay, so here the performance engineering, what they are referring is like, so example, as I said, so as this is taking, sorry, sorry, as this is taking like around 10 seconds for the login functionality.
Mhm.
Okay, so what you are gonna to do, you just need to check why exactly it is taking 10 seconds, right? So whenever you log in into any application, it is gonna to tell you. So exactly what is causing the login functionality to move from 2 seconds to 10 seconds? Is there is any bad code happened over there, or is something is happening over there? We'll just go log in into that AppDynamics or any monitoring tool, and we will just check exactly which request is causing issue. Okay, whenever you click on login, not only the single request is reaching the server, right? So whenever you click on login, you need to provide the username, you need to provide the password, and also you need to provide the captcha. So all these requests is gonna to move to DB. So you also need to check whether the response from the DB is getting delayed. Okay, all these things will be taken into consideration while checking about performance monitoring. So that is also not a very vast subject. So whenever you are applying for jobs, you just need like how much CPU consumption is there, like is the response time what we are seeing from 2 seconds to 10 seconds, is that because of the hardware? Someone asked about the hardware, right? Whenever like our file explorer is completely occupied, then whenever you are trying to copy any folder or something, it will take definitely long time, right? So what might be the reason behind that? Because of limited insufficient storage, which is here the technically it is called as like resource utilization issues, hardware resource utilization issues. The CPU consumption
Mhm.
is high or the memory consumption is high. We'll just go there and log into that application, and when we click on the transactions, so definitely we used to find like why and which request is taking long time. We'll just take that screenshot and share it to the related team. Hi guys, we find this observation. This is what, and this is why we are seeing 10 seconds instead of 2 seconds. So please do the changes from your end.
So
So
this is
we are
at the
just
server
gonna to
side.
find and share. Yes, we are just gonna to check the issue and share it to the related team. That's it. Because we are not developers to like do the code changes, right? We'll just